Not only is Russia trying to infiltrate the United States election system, it's also trying to steal coronavirus vaccine research, according to security officials in the US, Britain, and Canada. The hackers belong to a group known as APT29, the Dukes, or Cozy Bear. It's one of the two Russian spy groups that hacked into the Democratic Party's computers before the 2016 election. It is completely unacceptable that the Russian intelligence services are targeting those working to combat the coronavirus pandemic, said British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab. It's unknown if they have been successful in gaining any information, but officials note the hacking group's intentions are clear. APT29 has a long history of targeting governmental, diplomatic, think tank, healthcare, and energy organizations for intelligence gain, so we encourage everyone to take this threat seriously and apply the mitigations issued in the advisory, said the cybersecurity director of the U.S. National Security Agency, Neuberger. We have no information on who could have hacked pharmaceutical companies and research centers in Britain, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said. We can only say this: Russia has nothing to do with these attempts. U.S. officials believe that driving Russia's actions are a desire for prestige and influence across the globe. Whatever country's or company's research lab is first to produce that vaccine is going to have a significant geopolitical success story, said Assistant Attorney General for National Security John Demers earlier in the pandemic. Communications Security Establishment, Canada's equivalent of the NSA, said the Russian attacks serve to hinder response efforts at a time when healthcare experts and medical researchers need every available resource to help fight the pandemic. It notes that a Canadian biopharmaceutical company was breached back in April by a foreign actor. In May, the agency said it was looking into possible security breaches at Canadian organizations conducting coronavirus-related research. We've seen some compromises in research organizations that we've been helping to mitigate, Scott Jones, head of the CSC's Cyber Center, reported to a parliamentary committee. We're still continuing to look through what's the root cause of those. The announcement by Canada, the US, and Britain comes a few months after the FBI and Department of Homeland Security issued a warning that China was targeting the coronavirus research and that steps needed to be taken to protect the research. It's not unusual to see cyber activity from China regarding vaccine research, FBI Director Christopher A. Wray said last week. It's sometimes almost the next day. Attorney General William Barr noted that China is desperate for a public relations coup and is perhaps hoping to claim credit for any medical breakthroughs. John Hultquist, the Director of Intelligence Analysis for the cybersecurity firm FireEye, noted that the biggest thing to keep in mind is Russia's not alone. We've seen Iranian and Chinese actors targeting pharmaceutical companies and research organizations involved in the COVID-19 response. This is an existential threat to almost every government on Earth, and we can expect that tremendous resources have been diverted from other tasks to focus on this virus. To try to gain access to the vaccine research, the Russian hacking group scanned IP addresses that are owned by the organizations, then used malware, according to National Cybersecurity Centre officials in Britain. Custom malware known as Wellmess and Wellmail was used in some instances to infiltrate systems even further. The director of the security group in Britain, Paul Chichester, said in a statement that APT29 used despicable attacks against those doing vital work to combat the coronavirus pandemic. The World Health Organization has reported that 160 vaccines are being developed, with 23 working on clinical trials on humans in Britain, Canada, and the US. Russian Deputy Prime Minister Tatyana Golikova said on Wednesday that Russia is developing 26 vaccines, but only 2 are undergoing clinical trials. This week a month-long trial on 38 people concluded. Kirill Dmitriev, the head of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, reported that a larger trial with several thousand people is expected to start next month. We will produce 30 million doses of the vaccine in Russia, or 50 million if necessary, which means that Russia may complete vaccinations early next year, he explained. Western analysts believe that alongside their legitimate research, they are also most likely cheating. I have absolutely no doubt that if there was the slightest probability of stealing it, the Russians would do it, said the international director of the London-based Royal United Services Institute, Jonathan Isle. Mr. Putin has not had a good pandemic, he said. He has devolved the handling of it to regional governments to try and escape responsibility. He's nowhere to be seen. The figures about the numbers who have died are clearly manipulated. APT-29 is well known to US cyber experts. Intelligence officials say it's part of the SVR, Russia's foreign intelligence service, that hacked the White House and State Department emails in 2014. It also hacked the Democratic National Committee servers in the summer of 2015, months before the Russian military spy agency GRU did the same. Raab reported to a parliamentary intelligence committee on Thursday that Russian actors are trying to interfere in the UK's 2019 general election by stealing unpublished documents used in trade talks between the US and Britain. Moscow called these charges unfounded.